Welcome to the digital signal processing course. In this course, we are going to detailing about the basis function and the unit 1, nothing but obviously DSP preliminaries and applications. So let's study what is basis function. So it is nothing but the mathematical term to describe any point in the space. Otherwise, it can be further been explored as vectors are produced as each function in the function space can be represented as a linear combination of the basis functions. So let's see what exactly this linear combination of the basis function. If I say this is what one of the blank slide I took, so I will just go for this is what the, let's say, y-axis, this is x-axis. Along with this axis I will go for marking, let's say, one vector started from unit origin and somewhere here it is ending up. So this point I will just mention as a point, let's say 1 or 3. Okay, this is what the value 3 along the x-axis. Similarly, this is what, let's say, the value 4 along the y-axis. Means this is like after joining the point it will become like here, and this is the point over here. So this is the rough structure. This is the one of the vector which we can just point out as a combination, linear combination of vector along x and vector along y. So how it is linear combination? Along x it is 3, along y it is 4. So the combination which we will get over here for this particular vector, if it is, let's say, x, will be equal to what? 3i plus 4j. So this will be the vector which we will get over here. Now I will just scratch down this particular thing. So this is how it is the linear representation of two quantities just now which we have seen, and that is been clarified with these two statements. Mathematical term to describe any point in the space, or vectors are produced as a function, as each function in the function space that can be represented as a linear combination of basis functions. So these are some of the examples of the basis functions. Basis functions are used to model the response. So finite impulse response, this is what the basis function, and for Fourier, this is what the basis function. Let's understand it. For Fourier basis, here the total 4 waveforms are given. F of t, which we can just identify over here. This is nothing but f of t. This is h1 of t. This one is nothing but h2 of t, and next is h3 of t. So if we want to get, let's say, f of t, it is actually the combination of h1, h2 and h3. Means by adding these 3 we are actually getting the f of t. So that is nothing but the Fourier basis. So this is all about the basis function. Let's move to the next topic, that is eigenvalues and eigenvectors. So to understand the eigenvalue, it is quite easier to concentrate on this particular statement. For a given matrix A, this is what, let's say, the given matrix A, what are the vectors x? What are the vectors x for which the product Ax, means this entire product, is a scalar multiple of x. So it is the scalar multiple of x, means the scalar quantity will be over here, that is represented by the lambda. That is what vectors x satisfy the equation. So this equation must be satisfied in order to get the clarification regarding the eigenvalue and eigenvectors. So that is Ax is equal to lambda x. In alternate way, this equation can be provided with the statement, for a given matrix A, what are the non-zero vectors x? If the matrix A is given non-zero vectors, that is x, that satisfy the equation, it must satisfy the equation Ax is equal to lambda x, and that too for some scalar lambda, which is nothing but the eigenvalue. So the equation Ax is equal to lambda x has non-zero solutions for the vector x if and only if the matrix A minus lambda I has zero determinant. So this is the another required condition for this equation to satisfy, that a minus lambda I must be a zero determinant, or it must satisfy the zero determinant where lambda is eigenvalue and x is non-zero vector. So this is all about the introduction to the basis function as well as eigenvalue and eigenvector. So thank you everyone, thank you very much.